Welcome to Seeing Scarlet and Shelby. Here with Tyler, and we are here. We promised you. We said, oh, they're going to win on Sunday, so we're going to have to do a Sunday night episode. And here we are. The Lady Raiders took down number 12 TCU at home in a barn burner. Just great basketball game. I'm sure it was really fun for people that weren't a fan of either team, but we were, locked in. Good times. And Tyler, we won a game in the month of February. The war is over. On the first day of February, I came real close to asking Gerlich a question about it in the press conference, but just didn't get a chance because I just wanted to see what she'd say. I don't even know if she realizes it, but we've been joking about it for therapy reasons for 2 years now.
Right.
What else have they done this year, though, Tyler? 19-0, best start in school history. Tied for the best streak in school history. First win over Baylor since 2011. First win at West Virginia since 2015. Most wins in Big 12 in the Krista Gerlich era. Most wins in the Big 12 now with 8 after tonight since 2010, 2011. And they've won in February for the first time in 2 years. And Tyler has all the stats, so take it away from here because it's sad but exciting.
It is. It is crazy stuff. The last time we won was February 22nd, 2023. That was when we beat West Virginia in overtime. And if you are wondering how many days ago that was, 1,075 days since we last
We've been
won
counting them
in
every
February.
single one. So we've just been scraping them on a wall. We can
Yeah,
paint
it's
over
been
it and
rough
move
over
on.
here. But Mark brought up a good point. He did say that we were battled with injuries in February. We just all decided to get
This
injured
is
in
true.
February the past 2 seasons, so that did play a big part of it. We had some close games that we almost won, but yeah, other than that, it was always a rough stretch in that month of February. So I'm glad we talk about getting monkeys off our back. That's one of them gone
Yeah, and
out of
that's
there.
very fair. Especially 2 years ago, there was a lot of injuries,
Hmm.
but that's also just general adversity. And there was games in there that they should have still won.
Oh
Besides that,
yeah, a
and
hundred
I'm gonna
percent.
say that because this year's team isn't about that bullshit. And when they get into adversity, they always seem to bounce back. Which is what they did again after a tough loss to Iowa State. That they just didn't look like themselves. They didn't play Texas Tech basketball. We just did all that recap an episode or two ago. Go watch it. We just said coming into this TCU game against number 12 against maybe a potential top 5 pick in the WNBA draft, you got 2 6'7" players, a 6'3" forward, all these things. They're taller than us at every position, and we just said, just play your basketball and see what happens. If you play Texas Tech basketball, that can be good enough if everybody shows up and contributes in different ways. And that's what this game was about to me. Is there some people that had great games? Hello, Snutta Collins, 28 points again for us, just hitting big shot after big shot. Sydney Love, some big shots throughout the game. Both of them were in the post game. We have clips. And then you had other players that didn't have their best nights on the offensive end, say Bailey Maupin, Jalen Bristow, but were massive on the defensive end and the hustle plays and the big moments. And there's a stretch of this game that I'll break down in a minute that I thought was the most important stretch of the game that they both had huge plays in. And then you had someone like Danae Fritz, who we talked about in like the past episodes, like how do we get Danae Fritz more involved in the second half offensively? Is that even something that is fair for us to expect because she's putting out so much effort on defense? Does she have the legs late? And Gerlich said in the postgame, like that sounds like something that they've been talking about too. She said we tried to give her more rest today in the first quarter. And she said, in hindsight, that might have been the only rest she got because I don't think we took her out of the game after that. But they were trying to give her more legs, and I think it might have paid off because I thought this was one of Danae Fritz's best games in a Lady Raider uniform, just like under the radar because of all the small things she did and the way she stood up and the way she was a badass, in my opinion, said Krista Gerlich after the game. The way she stood up to Olivia Miles, who was whining and chirping and trying to drag
Oh
her
God,
into
yes.
some drama, and Danae just stared at her for a little bit and then turned and laughed and hyped up the crowd like multiple times. Jada Malone got her first start in a Lady Raider uniform, first time all season that we changed the starting 5. Jada Malone got out there and had 9 rebounds in the first half, 6 offensive rebounds, right? And then in the second half, we went to more of our small ball lineup together, but Jada did her damn thing. I don't think that was just a TCU game thing either, based on what Gerlich said after the game, so wouldn't be shocked if she's starting in the future as well. But on the flip side of that, Sarah Sanogo, who was the person that she replaced, came in and she didn't play maybe 10 minutes or something like that, but she had 2 blocks and 2 steals and had a great catch and a finish off of a Bailey Maupin pass through traffic late in that game. I could name off everybody on this roster, and I think I might have just did, that had a big moment in this game, and that is how this team wins. And I said last episode, This team is really good in big moments and making big shots in big moments. I don't know that we can expect them to trade shot for shot with teams or whatever, but if they can play defense and stay in games late, they have proven that they will make big shots and big moments, and you saw that spread across in this game. Mississippi State, Baylor, West Virginia, all three, I'm pretty sure we were trailing going into the fourth quarter. We were trailing by 4 going into the fourth quarter again in this. I was like, light work. This is where we live. We're in the fight going into the fourth quarter, and we found a way to come back and win. As long as this team plays defense the way they're capable, they were flying around, team defense, havoc. It was back. I was up top. I think I even posted a clip on Twitter of the final possession of the game. And so if you want to see what I'm talking about when I say I have a bird's eye view, that's what I'm talking about. And you can see our help defense running around, the way that Danae and Snuda traded off of screens to make that a tough shot on Olivia, and how then Danae rotated down and she tipped the ball to Snuda. That's what Texas Tech defense is about, and that was back tonight. They kept themselves in the fight, and then Snuda, Sydney, Danae had multiple big shots late, and then Bailey and Jalen had massive, massive plays on defense that we'll break down more in a minute. It was a true team effort on both ends. Nobody got in their feelings about good or bad nights. Even Hema had huge rebounds. Little Hema finished through traffic against 6'7" player, was grabbing rebounds against a 6'7" player. I mean, I don't know if I've missed anybody, Tyler, but you can take it away. I was just massively impressed with the top to bottom roster effort in this, and just getting back to Texas Tech basketball, as Snutter Collins said post game.
Yeah, it was such an exciting and electric game and an electric environment, and it's really a huge win for the program and something that we needed, especially after dropping the 3 games that we did. The defensive end, I thought, was the biggest story of the night, obviously. I mean, holding Silva to only 7 points and 3 rebounds, she didn't even have a single foul. So like TCU got in foul trouble the other night against Kansas, almost lost that game, and that was part of it. She didn't even get a foul. We just had a great defensive plan for her. Again, I was trying to figure it out, but again, as we were talking about, team defense better than actual one-on-one individual defense, and that's what was happening. We were helping every time she had the ball. We would double team. She would freak out. Then she would turn the ball over. She had 2 turnovers in this game. I mean, that was really impressive to hold their 6, 7 players remotely to not a whole lot on the rebounding or scoring end. And then we completely left her out of our preview, so the team had to do that work themselves, if they even watch it. Maddie Shear ended
Yeah,
up
I'm sure
coming
they. I'm
back.
sure
Yeah,
they
yeah, I'm
really
sure they
lean
were.
on our
I
scouting
know,
report.
I know. I was like, oh
Like
no, I'm gonna get
football. I mean, they
fired.
couldn't win. They
Yeah.
couldn't win without us.
Right, right,
Poor
right. I was
Tyler's
like,
like stressing.
I was stressed. I was like, oh shoot. I was like, I looked at the injury report. I'm like, oh, she's not even listed on the thing. She hasn't played a single game in January. I was like, oh
Yeah.
shoot, she came back and she did well when she was in there, but then she ended up fouling out. Got 5 fouls, was out of the game, and then no longer a factor for them in those last final minutes. And honestly, that helped us out huge with that. I mean, Olivia Miles was 6 for 19, only like 31% from the field goal range. D Fritz locked her up. I mean, just really, really impressive performances tonight on the defensive end. Yeah, and then when you look at the offensive end and you see some of these other players, only was able to get like 1 field goal in. It looks like one, two, three, four. We only had 6 field goals between our starting 5. But at the same time, you have Snetta Collins coming off the bench with 28 points. You have Danae Fritz, who had 2 for 2 on her 3-point shots, the most clutch three
Massive
point
ones.
shot. And
Yeah.
the end of that, Sydney Love is able to add some scoring over there at the point guard position whenever Hema's not on there. I mean, everybody just really did their part, as you said, and really contributed. And as you said, as long as you keep yourself in these games, I'm not completely worried about getting points on the board. Like if defensively we can get that within, at least 6. It was a lot different than Iowa State, where I was like, yeah, I mean, there were certain moments in the game where I was like, this got way too out of hand. TCU, I was just unbothered. I was like, all right, like we can finally go on a run in this game. It felt like we finally, like, we just needed one little spark and we were able to get that. So huge, huge win.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head there. With we were just always within range. We talked about
Hmm.
how, and we only lost 3 games, right? But in all of them, it's like this stretch or two kind of got away from us. And in this game, there was times where TCU felt like they were trying to do that. I mean, TCU led for all but 4 and 20 seconds, something like 4 minutes and 20 seconds of this game is all Texas Tech ever led. But there was a lot of lead changes, some ties mixed in there. But they led for most of the game, but it was never big. I think maybe their biggest lead was about 7 points, which might have been early in the fourth quarter. But we just kept chipping away, and we never let it snowball. And I thought Coach Gerlich did a really good job with the timeouts. Whether that was conscious or not, I'm not sure. But If we had a couple of mistakes in a row, it felt like she called a couple of timeouts within those, especially in the second half, and that to get a bucket out of that timeout when they needed it or just to calm them down. But for the most part, the team self-regulated those moments, I thought, really well. They seemed to like just be like, I don't know, locked in every way. The way that you've seen them. It was very Baylor, it was very Mississippi State, it was very those games like, this is my team. You know what I mean? That's my team, like down there playing. Like I recognize this. So I'm gonna go through the stretch of the game that I thought that was the most important watching it live. And I asked Gerlich about it, so we'll run through it and then you'll be able to see it in the highlights as well. So get both perspectives. There was a couple of stretches that we could have gone with, but when it was happening, and I said, and I think I did the live thread on Riveter Sports, so I said, mark this down. If we win the game, this is the moment that really allowed us to do it, and then we ended up winning. So they were down 6 with about 6 minutes to go. TCU missed a 3, or it was about to be 9, down 9, but they missed a 3. We go down, and I think maybe Jalen might have missed a layup. I'm not sure. Something on the offensive end didn't go great for us, but Olivia Miles is coming down in transition like the race car she is, goes up with her left hand and her little fancy layups, and Jalen said no. Swatted it. Didn't just swat it, grabbed it herself, dribbled it up the court herself, finds Sydney. Sydney dishes it over to Danae. And Danae, there was like a screening action set up for Danae, and Danae just ignored it, or ignored the screen, and took a deep 3 in rhythm. Like, I'm talking like she's coming over to catch this ball, and she's, I guess, in their actions that they normally on, she's supposed to catch it, rip through, go off the screen, and drive. And she caught it in rhythm, feet hit the ground, and shot a 3 from pretty deep. And Gerlich said after the game, I don't know if that's a shot that Danae's ever taken for us before. She was really impressed with Danae stepping up in that moment and taking a big shot that she's capable of, but maybe she hasn't done for us yet in her career. She's usually like the first, second quarter player, and then other people take over late. But she felt like she needed to in this, so she makes a big 3 right there. Then go back down on the defensive end. Now we're down 3. Jalen walls up. I think it was Silva. Might have been Basham. One of their 6-7 players that's in there at that point. Walls her up in the middle of the lane. She's about to like get the ball together to make a move, and then you talked about how we were playing their bigs. I saw it whereas that team defensive thing, and in this moment you saw it again. As soon as she went to make a move, Bailey darted down. That had to be either seemed like it was in the game plan or Bailey just being instinctual there. Darted down, it freaked Silva out. I'm pretty sure it was Silva, and she traveled. So then we have the ball back. We call a timeout. They draw something up in the huddle. I asked Sydney about this moment after the game. She did say Gerlich did draw this one up for her. And then I just happened to listen to the radio interview right before we got on here to record. And Gerlich said she even asked Sydney in the huddle, do you want to take a left-handed layup or a right-handed layup? Like, it was going to Sydney out of this timeout, which tells you how much they believe in her. Sydney was on my left hand. I got this, coach. She takes it on sheer up. No problem. Could have maybe even been an and 1, but she finishes it. We're only down 1. Only down 1 at this point. I think maybe we get a stop or they score again, but then Snoda comes down, she gets that big and 1, and all of a sudden we have a lead at 54-52. Go back down. Bailey Maupin, I talked about it not being her best offensive game. She had, in my opinion, one of the most important plays in a Lady Raider uniform that Bailey Maupin has ever made came in this moment. She chased down a loose ball rebound, jumped in the air so she was established inside the court, grabs the ball, throws it off of Silver or whoever was over there that wasn't quite as quick to the ball. Texas Tech ball going down the other way. That's stuff we weren't doing in some of our losses, right? She did that. We miss. Jalen rips through, gets a wide open layup. She went not wide open strong, but she misses a layup. We don't fret. I think Danae and Snoda get a big jump ball there. That's where that Danae and Olivia Miles thing happened, I believe. Danae pumps up the crowd. Eventually, Danae gets an offensive rebound, makes 1 of 2 free throws. We're up by 3. Hallelujah. Let's go. TCU, good team. Donovan Hunter makes a corner 3. Long with the corner 3. Tied at 55 with about 39.6 to go. We call a timeout. Snoda comes out of the timeout. I asked her after the game if something was drawn up. Sounds like they didn't have time to draw it up. They were like in the middle of drawing up. They get called out of the huddle. Snoda knew what she needed to do anyway, but she grabs the ball, gets a deep 3, makes it. Could have been a foul. They hit her on their arm. They didn't call it. She does a little ice in my veins celebration as she's backing up. Gerlich points at her. It's a great moment. Go watch the replay. Now we're up by 3 with like 30 seconds to go. At that point, we just need to have some defensive plays. The biggest defensive player of the game ends up being Snoda Collins. Big shouts for her offense all game. She's the one, at the end that is on Olivia Miles when she takes a fadeaway 3 in the corner. Because her and Danae got caught up in a screening action. Danae passed her off to Snutter. Danae went on down on Suarez in the lane, so she couldn't drop that off to her because they could have gotten a quick 2 if they wanted to at that point. But anyway, so she shoots the 3, misses it. Danae's like 5'11". She's not short, but Suarez is the girl that's down there, 6'3" Suarez. Danae jumps up, tips the ball to Snutter Collins, grabs it, they foul her. That's the game. There could have been some moments where maybe they make a crazy 3 or whatever. They don't. So, Texas Tech wins it. That is the stretch I'm talking about. If I could have gone back and gotten all that clips for you, I would have done it, because we've done that for like moments where it didn't work out in those same ways where it's like, we didn't do that thing. We didn't chase down that rebound. We didn't make this layup. We didn't get that jump ball. They did all of those things in this stretch. And there was players that were having good nights on the offense, players that weren't. They were all making plays on defense no matter what. And that's what, in my opinion, won them the game. And Gerlich talked about it after the game, and she said, yeah, there might have been a moment she was considering taking Jalen out because she had missed a couple layups, but then Jalen got that block, and she said, I remember thinking in my head, that's exactly what you do when things aren't going on offense. Is that's how you respond and make an impact other places of the game. And I already mentioned, she talked about Danae hitting those big shots, and that Snutter just has, I think what she said was, Snutter has what you can't teach, confidence to take the big shots, and she does. So great post-game press conference. You can go watch the whole thing. We have a clip we'll show you in a minute from the players and Gerlich at the end of this when we get into that. But that was the biggest stretch of the game, in my opinion. You have any comments on that, or we just want to show the highlights and you can break it down in there?
Yeah, I think we showed the highlights. Let's roll them.
You'll see that stretch and other stretches. I'm going to turn this down because I heard the announcers were terrible. Sorry, y'all that had to watch. National TV, though.
Good deal.
That was the only shot I think Jalen made. Maybe she had one late. I was like, started off good, but it is what it is. She kept fighting.
I didn't even realize we were down 5-11.
Texas Tech
hand down, man down.
Their last 4 games
Collins.
on a 19-straight winning streak.
Her ability to make these mid-range shots, right, the lane shots were massive. You got to make tough buckets against good defenses, and Snutter did it all game.
Does a great job scoring
Sydney,
turnovers and scoring in transition.
just such a new element to this team that we needed. There's Hema Nunez going amongst the trees, kicks out one of Bailey Maupin's big shots in this game. She had a couple early in the game. And this is Hema. This was just such a great stretch for her, that rebound. Like, she was doing everything. Smart Tata. Look at this. Step back. Money.
Oh, money.
Snutter again, these mid-range shots. They're tough shots. There's a reason people let you take those. They're inefficient, but Snutter, man, they're efficient for her. There's that play I was talking about with Sarah. Great catch and finish.
That was Sarah Sonogo. I have almost 2-year-old twin daughters who did not start walking until they were 1. And she was running.
I think we just saw that play, or that is just a replay, and she just did the same thing. I'm not sure.
They haven't been able to get so many stops is because of the pressure Olivia Miles puts on the rim.
There we go.
Big shot. She's going to make another 3 in the exact same spot later. Preview.
Up right now. Snutter Collins shooting 42% from the 3-point line.
How about another one?
Look at that.
I mean, she just took over. I don't know how many points Snutter had in the fourth quarter.
Maupin going up against Clara Silva. Deep shot by Sydney Love.
15 points for Snutter Collins in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Sydney Love had 5, including that 3-pointer right there. Big shot. That's that play I just broke down for you. There was a chance for her to drive off that, is what Gerlich was saying. She just took it in rhythm. Deep 3. She's capable of that. Here's that layup that we broke down in that big stretch. This is in the middle of that stretch. You didn't get to see Jalen's block, but that was happened right before Danae's 3. Here's the and 1. Big shot. The and 1 maybe already happened. This is it right here. There it is.
There we go.
The announcers were calling for an offensive foul there. I was like, oh, you must be related to those stupid refs that called that on in the past game. That was not an offensive foul.
Ball security down the stretch of this game with 30 seconds.
Here's that shot. Was not drawn up, I guess, completely, but Suna said, I got you, coach. No problem. Drills it. They don't show the end of it. I wish they did, but that's what happens when you're on FS1. They just don't appreciate ball. So they didn't show the end of that where we got the big defensive play. All right, JK, I pulled this in here. I talked about how I sit up here and you can see like the top view. Since the highlights didn't have it in here, you get to see what I'm talking about. You also get to see how good the crowd was in this game. So this was the defensive play that kind of sealed the game. You had to make some free throws after this, but look at Danae and Snuda trading off there. Snuda stays with top 5 pick right there. 2 potentially WNBA players going at it. And then great tip out from Danae down to Snuda. Just great team defense. Loved it. And then Snuda, I think maybe missed one of her free throws, but she did enough to make it a 2-possession game.
Yeah, just a gritty game. I mean, we just absolutely tore it up defensive end. And yeah, that Snuda shot, I mean, I thought that the roof was going to blow up
was so
on top of the
loud,
building.
yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. It was just so amazing that we were able to respond in that way, and I knew that Sneda especially appreciated that because I know that K-State game is probably like the same exact shots that we had opportunities for. They just didn't fall.
Hard,
so
yeah.
she did. She took that game really hard. In this game, we absolutely take those shots. We keep saying just shoot or shoot. Take those shots again, win in, and it's now a different story. We took down the number 12 team in the country. Number 1 team in the Big 12. So
it sometimes is that simple. You're not going to get lucky like K-State did, or Snow Collins misses shots. I mean, she made a bunch of big shots in that K-State game. She was just kind of the only one, and so when she missed the last of them, she felt bad. But yeah, she had nothing to feel bad about. But yeah, definitely has done her job. She had 28 points in this one, just like she had in the Utah win. And loved it. Again, go watch the full thing if you like to. We'll have more clips and stuff being posted on our social media as always. Some fun ones. About the big moments we just kind of walk through. At home games I get to ask about all the things I bring up in here, so if you want more of Gerlich's thoughts or the players' thoughts on different things I talked about here, there's a good chance I probably asked her or them about it, and they're always gracious enough to answer. Bless Gerlich's heart, I ran through that whole section of the game I did on the show, and I was like, sorry, coach. But she answered it great and had good answers once she kind of calibrated what I was talking about. So yeah, I always suggest going and watching that kind of stuff. It's fun to hear the full background. Y'all can hear us yap about it, and that's great. And we have fun with it, but you always want to hear the coaches and the players. So good stuff. I mean, we don't have a preview of the next game. I feel like we kind of covered everything. I'm just massively impressed with everybody in this game. I don't think anyone now, I know Bailey and Jalen and maybe some others are going to say that they didn't have their best games, but I'm telling you right now, we just don't win the game without those blocks. Jalen Bristow had 3 blocks. That's the same amount of blocks that both of their 6-7 players had combined for TCU. Jalen Bristow stepped up and did that. That's why she leads the Big 12 in blocks, not those players. She does. And she was in the lane. She stayed out of foul trouble. It was really productive when we needed her in those big moments. When the offensive side starts clicking consistently, that's when she becomes this elite all Big 12 player. But to stay locked in on that, and I'm super impressed with her. Bailey Maupin, same thing. Wasn't her best night. Bailey Maupin will be fine. She has down nights here or there offensively, but it's few and far between. But she just competed. 8 rebounds for Bailey Maupin. I mean, 7 on the defensive ends. Just 3 assists. Like, she was just hustling people. Jada Malone, again, she might start again. We'll see. Really carried in the first half until we went to that smaller lineup. Everybody. Sarah, like I said, Sarah came in, only played 8 minutes, but she had 3 rebounds, a block, and 2 steals in 8 minutes of play. Like, that's activity right there. And Adley only played a minute, and it says she did nothing in the box score, but I vividly remember her blocking someone out, like, almost to the floor on one play to help her teammate get a rebound in that 1 minute. So everybody that came in here had big stuff. So that's kind of my final thoughts, is that was Texas Tech basketball. You don't see that in that clip from Sonoda, but she said that after the game too. And a clip I think we posted elsewhere is I asked her, it's like, Sonoda, after the Utah game, you said that's a statement win, so what would you call this? And she said, I'd just call it Texas Tech basketball, Texas Tech Lady Raider basketball. And I was like, that's right. Because it was. And that's what this game was, is that's Texas Tech basketball. And you kind of heard Gerlich talk about it there, she hopes that them learning how to win these kind of games, because that's hard. We kind of mentioned that last week. Like, it's harder than people realize to do what this team's trying to do. And it's about that, is them learning how to win together. Maybe some of these individually have been in big moments. Some of them never have on this level and this kind of stage of what it means for a program. And they're all kind of learning together, and even the coaching staff, if we're being honest. Like, this is the most Big 12 games that Gerlich's ever won as well. So they're all kind of learning together, and she's obviously done it as a player, so she's trying to, like, will them there. And now they're starting to see it together. So we'll see if they can replicate it. They're playing Houston on, is it Saturday or Sunday? Saturday.
Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Is that an afternoon game? I haven't even looked.
5 o'clock.
Same time as the softball game, so that's lovely. We love
Yes.
that for us.
Yes.
We will cover them both, as we always do. It's that time of year. But yeah, we'll talk about that game later in the week somehow. We'll get a preview in for y'all, but that's way down the line. Houston got their first Big 12 win tonight. Buzzer beater over Cincinnati. So they're going to be feeling confident, but they have to play TCU between now and then.
Oh
But yeah,
gosh.
I guess any final thoughts from you? I could talk. I always love wins. I could sit on here and talk for like
I
3
know.
hours. This is so much more fun. I hate getting on here after losses and having to like go through the things. I just don't enjoy it. But y'all seem to, so we try to help you guys read through it. But it's so much more fun after wins.
Yeah, great win. And you really do put yourself in a great position. You thought after Iowa State, at least I thought after Iowa State, I was like, oh wow, like this Big 12 race, it looks like it's going to be just TCU and Baylor. Like we'll probably we can be in the fight for third place. But then Baylor
Pull up the
lost and we
Victor's
took
standings right
TCU
now.
out. So we are only half a game behind, I believe, both TCU and Baylor, and they have to play each other, and we still have to play Baylor once. So
That's
you are
crazy.
now back into the Big 12 title race. I mean, it's
You're
just
right there.
crazy
Yeah.
how
We're
the
in
Big
third
12,
place right now.
yeah, third place.
TCU and
It's
Baylor
crazy how the Big 12
8-2.
works.
We're 8-3. We've played one more game than they have because we haven't had our bye, so that's going to even out this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, TCU's probably not losing to Houston, but
If they want to.
I mean,
They want
they
to.
want to help us out.
You want to help us
But
out.
yeah, no, TCU has to play Baylor and who else do they have to play late? And then well, they've already played Oklahoma State, but still, they got to play them twice. So yeah, that'll be interesting for them, and we'll get our shot at Baylor. So yeah, it's all ahead of them, but I'm not ever putting that on them, but just keep getting better each game. But the fact that you're 8-3 and third place in the Big 12 play, I'm telling you, people aren't appreciating this team as much as they should. So I'm trying to drill that between everybody's eyes because you're only going to have a couple more months of them. Even if they play all the way to the national championship, that's like 2 months from today, and nine of these players will be graduating. So y'all need to wake up and get over your past year's PTSD or whatever it is that's holding y'all back from appreciating what this team's doing and just enjoy every game, the roller coaster over the ups and downs. Like, it's been a journey and it's been a lot of fun to watch them, cover them, whatever, in a more official capacity this year. But I mean, I'm never going to lie and say that I'm not an alumni of the university. So I definitely enjoy it from both perspectives.
Yeah. I mean, and also like just looking at today and just how big of an impact it is. I mean, as Gerlich was saying, national TV, you're able to get the win, showing everybody. I mean, you took down the number 1 team in the Big 12, a player like probably 2 players that are going to go to the WNBA. I mean, you completely limited their 6'7" big that they got from SEC basketball in Kentucky. I mean, everybody just stepped up today. I mean, and you talked about the boxing out. The boxing out, it was great today. I mean, that's how we were able to out-rebound TCU, who,
15
again,
offensive
outsized
rebounds,
us.
y'all.
Yes,
That's not
15
boxing out
offensive
necessarily.
rebounds.
That's crashing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also had 31 defensive rebounds.
I mean, we were aggressive. And TCU outsized us in literally every single thing. And that
Every
was my
position.
biggest concern. And yeah, we were just playing tough, like West Texas tough basketball. That's what gritty, not pretty, but that's just we got it done. And I think this win just speaks
Winning
volumes.
is always pretty.
It's always pretty. It's always pretty. And this win really did speak volumes. I think it does. And I think it should get the fan base fired up. I think that there's still so much that this team's going to be able to do. They have not yet reached their ceiling, but this is definitely one of those big wins that should wake a lot of people up.
Yeah, I had someone in our comments right before we started recording this, and they said, I'm just going to read it off to you. Love it. Love the passion. They said, I've been around the men's and the women's program for a long time, and that's probably the biggest win for any of your basketball programs-wise in the last 20 years, I think. And I was like, okay. I don't know if I would go. I was like, I don't know if I would go that far, but I get the sentiment given where this program has been and where this season could catapult them. Certainly this could be one you look back on and say that was a pillar moment of the new era. But I also said you have to keep building, otherwise it's not a pillar, it's just a stick in the ground. You get what I'm saying? So they dug themselves out of this hole they've been in for a while, if you want the metaphor. Now they've cemented a nice little pillar, and they got to keep building on it, otherwise there's just Greek ruins out here. So hopefully they keep going. But I get what the person's saying, but listen, we've had Final Four appearances and national championship appearances on he said both programs. So maybe the last 20 years for this program, maybe we could talk. maybe we could talk. But I get the sentiment. If you could look back on this moment and say, okay, that was when people really started to be like, okay, they passed off the Baylor win because Talia Scott, whatever. West Virginia, some people don't realize how good West Virginia is and how hard it is to win there. Baylor found that out tonight. They beat Baylor at home. And like, there's just people that don't quite follow women's basketball closely, so they don't get it. But I think everybody, even the casual fans, knows Olivia Miles, TCU has been a power the last couple of years. You've now beaten both Texas teams. I think that's big in recruiting. People are not talking about that. But you've beaten both of your in-state teams in the Big 12 in your head-to-head matchups this year.
If you're including Houston, even though they're like...
That's true. I forget Houston is even a factor. But yeah, you've beaten 3-0. You have a chance to go 4-0.
Beat A&M in the scrimmage earlier in the year.
In the scrimmage before the season. We beat Texas A&M 5-0 against Texas teams. We've probably played some random Texas teams in non-con that I'm forgetting, but I'm talking
Abilene
about
Christian.
ACU. Sit them down.
UNT.
Sit them down. Like, we're undefeated against Texas teams this year. And I'm joking, but I'm not. That is massive in recruiting when it comes to the future of the program. And this was like the last big, like the big one. Now you get a chance to play Baylor again, and they're going to be motivated, but still, like, I think that's something that's kind of going under. Oh my God, we beat SMU! God, put them down.
Too much fun.
Everybody, I'm about to just pull up the schedule to know, but I think we got.
Give us Texas.
Yeah. Texas. Listen, there's a good chance that happens because of geography in the postseason. So that would be the last one on the list there. But yeah, so big stuff for the program, and these players should be proud of what they're doing, but they're not done. And I think that's why I love this group. We said that last week, is they're the locker. I think Gerlich said the locker room's fine. Yeah, of course the locker room's fine. I think just fans have a little PTSD from past years, and I get that, but that has nothing to do with these players. So if you're new to the show, hopefully that sinks into your skull now. I'm not saying there won't be ups and downs still. That's sports, but hopefully you're starting to see it. This was a lot of fun. I think a lot of people on Twitter and stuff were having fun with this one too, that didn't think we had a chance in this game. And they're like, oh shit, the Lady Raiders might be for real again. They're like, we're so back.
They woke up.
Yeah, they woke up. So, way to wake them up. I think that's kind of the show. We can just get you, because this is a Lady Raider episode special tonight. This show's coming out on Monday morning, so tonight as you're watching this, or if you're living in the future, then you've missed it. The men are playing on a big Monday game. You got the big Sunday win. That'll weigh gals. Now the men are going to get the big Monday win over Kansas tonight, hopefully. And then we'll be back to recap that and preview Houston. And softball opens up their season on Thursday this week at McNeese State, which Nyjah Kennedy will be starting. Coach Glasgow has already confirmed that multiple times. We'll be starting in that game on Thursday, and we'll hopefully get to see it. Y'all know my rants will come if they're not streaming their non-con games.
We'll have to do the usual rants.
And then they have a big game with Texas A&M on Saturday that we'll talk about at the same exact time as the women's basketball game in Houston. Will we both be at the A&M game? Are you going to that?
Yeah, I'm going to try to make it, yes.
I think I might, because I'm going down to help my mom with some stuff this week, so I'm going to miss the Lady Raiders midweek, by the way, if anyone looks forward to my terrible questions at those. I won't be there, so you'll have to listen to whatever other, I'm sure. I'm going to send Ben there. He works with Raider Sports, too. He'll get some stuff. So I won't be here this week because I'm going down to Comanche. Then I was like, that's not very far from College Station. So I might pop over.
It'll be fun.
So we might be there. We'll see.
C-Stat takeover.
But we'll find a way to, it's going to be, we're going to be like tweeting about the Raiders. It's no problems to have. Hopefully it's an uneventful game, but Houston's a good team. Can't overlook them. I mean, they're an athletic team. They gave us issues in the past.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We'll have to be on our game. But we'll talk more about that next week. Men are going to take care of Kansas in a big win tonight, hopefully. If not, all good. They'll get right back on track moving forward, but I think they're going to be coming out with fire. Smart prediction after the loss to UCF, which we're not going to recap because I don't know, this is happy times. They just didn't play like themselves. The women just went through that. It's basketball. It happens. Ups and downs. They're going to get better from it and get a big win at home in front of a massive crowd, I'm sure. White out, correct?
Yes, white out. Wear white.
All right. Y'all be there. Any final thoughts, Tyler? Anything that people need to know?
Just that. It's February 1st. The curse is over. And 2nd. We're rolling. It's now February 2nd, yes, as we're recording this. So curse is over. We're chilling.
We're
Let's
about to
just
break
go
another
undefeated now
curse,
for
one
2
game at a
Februarys.
time. Oh my god.
As Mark said, let's change the streak.
The tide, flip it.
Uno
Yeah,
reverse.
we got another curse. We've broken a lot of curses this year, if you want to call them that. A lot of droughts. They have another big one on their docket that they're getting closer and closer to every day with getting back in the
Yes.
tournament for the first
So
time in
close.
13 years. This was a big win towards that. Got to keep plugging away and getting better. Excited to see what they do. If we can get some women's basketball players on the show, listen, we will. They're busy people. I don't know. We'll see. But we've extended the opportunity every chance we can. We'll see if they come on the show. We'll fit that in. It's an open door policy around here. But until next time, that's all I have. Wreck 'em.
Wreck 'em.